say anything while we're waiting?
Oh, I'm gonna ring the bell, wasn't I?
Yeah, you're supposed to ring the bell. He's announcing.
Yeah.
It's time. Next contestant. I see. See, Tyra, you were with us going down to the city old folks center when we did the meet the candidates later. We'll try to make it better than that. Was painful. At least for me, that was very painful.
Yeah.
We'll try to replay and be better. My clock says 7 o'clock. That says 2 minutes too.
Don't follow that.
That's a little slow.
Apple says it's not.
It's like some of us, it's a little slow. Okay, well, I guess we'll call to order this meeting where we get to choose a new city councilman. Welcome to everybody that's in YouTube land. Apparently we don't have to do a pledge nor a prayer, but we do have to do a call to order. So we'll turn that over to Candace.
All right, do a roll call here. Dennis, our Councilmember Nordfeld,
Here.
Mayor Larson,
I am present.
Councilmember Deline,
Here.
Councilmember Beal,
Yes.
and Councilmember Steck.
Here. Perfect. In terms of procedures, I was thinking maybe like an arm wrestle and that kind of stuff, but apparently we can't do that. So we're gonna turn the time over to Candace again and she'll give us the procedures.
Okay, this, what we're gonna be doing tonight is going to be based on Utah State Code, and that is Utah State Code 20A1510. And it outlines exactly how we as a city have to fill a vacancy. So this meeting has been noticed, and we do have the 4 candidates here that applied for the open position. And Mayor Larson will proceed and let us know how he's going to go ahead and interview you. But when that is over, they will have a vote, and they all do have ballots up at the stand, and the vote will be a secret ballot. When they have voted, I will collect the ballots, and at that point, I will read them to you out loud so you know who was voted for. At that point, that's when it gets complicated. We do have to have 3 votes. Showing the majority of the council. The mayor is not allowed to vote. So we just have the 4 council members tonight that will be doing the voting. And so if we end up with a majority of 3 or more, the first round, then we're done. We have our 3. At that point, we can swear them in. If we have 2 and 2, I get the lovely privilege from state code of doing a coin toss. And whoever wins that coin toss is our new council member. If we have 2-1-1, means somebody's tied for second place. So the second place person, or the 2 people that are tied for second place, I will have to do a coin toss. Whoever wins that coin toss will then be put on a second ballot between the person with 2 votes and the person who won the coin toss, and they will do a second round of voting. So the state makes it very complicated, but we are going to follow the procedure tonight, and we'll see where we go from there.
Excellent. Clear as mud for me. I think what we'll do tonight then is we'll give each one of you a minute to introduce yourself.
Hey, Chris,
What?
what if there's a 4-way tie?
If there's a 4-way tie at the beginning,
Yeah.
you will have to vote again.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to narrow it down. If every single one of you votes for one person, yeah, you have to narrow it down and you'll have to re-vote. And basically the code says that if you guys can't come to a decision then I have to alert the lieutenant governor's office that you can't come to a decision. So,
But she comes in, no.
yeah.
Sorry, Mayor. Those are the only options.
Everybody has to vote? Okay, never mind. All right, I'll give you each a minute to introduce yourself. And then we'll give the city council a chance to ask you each 3 questions, one at a time. We'll just kind of go down. I think Lauren will ask John one and then just down the road, and then Lauren will come around and ask somebody else a different question. Does that make sense? We'll just march down the row and back around. And then at the end, we'll give you each 2 minutes to sum up what you think you said. And everybody relax. It's all good times here, right? I really appreciate 4 people. I thought maybe we wouldn't have anybody at first, so I'm glad that all of you would put your life on the line, not necessarily your personal life. Your personal life, set aside personal lifetime to come and volunteer for this, so I appreciate that very much.
Mayor Larson, is it okay if we just speak from where we're sitting?
The problem is we have people online,
Uh-huh.
so what we would prefer if you came up to the front. Sorry about that. Maybe in the future, maybe we should think about maybe a passing mic or getting a mic. You may. Note to self, let's do that. All right, does that make sense, kind of what we'll do? And then at the end, we'll vote but hopefully we won't be here till midnight voting and re-voting, so. All right, anybody got questions? Concerns, problems, complaints? You guys got issues?
If John needs a mic,
No, I'm okay.
yeah, cause mine would stretch from me to you.
I'm fine.
Okay, just wanna make
Yeah.
sure. I don't wanna, if it's not, it's not comfortable for you, I'm sure we can get you a mic there that the people out there can hear and people hear as well. Okay,
Candace is here.
just will reach.
No, this one's tied back.
Okay. Anyway, just make,
Sorry, I'm happy. Maybe we'll just start with you, John, since you're right here on the left-hand side and give you a minute to do your thing. Katie's doing the timing.
Intro, 3 questions, conclusion.
Correct. Give a minute and then you get 3 minutes for each of your answers and then 2 minutes at the end. You get 12, 13, 14, 15 minutes almost.
Hey, Mark, get set, go. I'm John Scott. I've lived in Ephraim for 26 years. We raised our family here. We have children and grandchildren in our community. My parents are buried in the Ephraim Cemetery. And I am excited to present myself as a candidate for filling the open seat on the city council. Thank you.
You're on camera.
Hi, my name is Cameron Nelson. I'm sure all of you hopefully already know me. I was born and raised in Ephraim. My grandfather was Aiden Nelson, and my great grandfather was Louis Bridgman Nelson. That's a little bit different name. They're both buried in the Ephraim City Cemetery. I grew up here, and I remember Ephraim different than what it is now. I remember hickey bobbing on the back of the school bus in order to get that 1 block from the bus stop to home. I remember trick or treating from one end of town to the other, going up to from 4th or 3rd North up to 4th South to go trick or treating. I joined the National Guard in 1980 and spent 40 years in the Guard. I worked for them full-time 32 years. I had various jobs and responsibilities through my career, and all of them increasing in responsibility as well as same like. I moved to Salt Lake in 1987 when I started working for them full-time.
I think that you're on camera.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
Thank you.
We need a clock and so people can see what time it is. It's kind of lame. All right, I'm sorry. We'll fix that next time.
I'm Tyra Taylor. I've lived here since 2006. We raised our kids here. They've had a blast. We still have 3 of them in the community here. And I just wanted to say that I would really appreciate being able to be here to help other citizens. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and say, we want a female voice on the council. It's surprising how many people have come up to me and said that in the last couple of weeks. So, it is on my mind of that, and, I love government relations and government operations. I am that weird person that follows legislation and city meetings and all of that type of stuff. I've come to city meetings for over 3 years now, so, I try to stay informed, and people come to me to find out what's going on, and I'm happy to inform them of those things because it's something that I find fun and enjoyable, and I just enjoy it, and I love being here in Ephraim, so thank you very much.
I've noticed that you haven't showed up since I've been mayor, though, so I'm a little.
I have.
Yes, no.
Sometimes she's on.
Yeah, I've
Oh, I-
been there like 3 times this year.
I thought it was me.
I quite enjoy it, actually. I had fun.
It's good to be with you tonight. I'm honored to be considered to fill the vacancy on our city council. I've spent the last 25 or nearly 25 years working in government, 7 of those years as an assistant city attorney. I've worked on both the front lines and in administrative roles. These experiences have given me a practical understanding of the overall operations of a city, how decisions are made, and then how they're carried out. Along the way, I've gained an understanding of what it takes to help a city succeed. The ongoing and emergency maintenance of utilities, the budgeting process, the bonding and building process, fulfilling the needs of today, and also planning for tomorrow. The management of risk, claims, and insurance, the importance of internal and external relationships. And I could go on. I'm going to stop there in the interest of time. Previously, my employment prohibited me from serving in this type of a role. With my recent job change to the governor's office, I'm now both able and encouraged to participate in local government. My family and I love Ephraim. I'm here tonight because I want to give back to our community, and I believe I can be an asset for our city. So I answer your questions. I hope to heard your vote.
Thanks. How do you want to do the time thing?
What?
How do you want to do the time thing?
I want you to do it.
I know,
Yeah.
but
I can hold up like the 3-minute timer and.
Yeah, that's
some
great.
way that we can better communicate.
Yeah,
this time.
where I am, it's not a very conducive.
Why don't you give them like a 30
I'll
second?
put it like this, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and I'd be like. I'll put my hand up, and then at 0,
You got the trap door. Yeah, get the hook. All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Do you want to stop, Lauren? Maybe John, will you take the first question?
You bet.
Okay, sir, here you go. Ready? In a small town, you'll often make decisions that affect people you know personally. Can you describe a time when you had to be fair or enforce a rule, even when it impacted a friend, neighbor, or family member? What did you do?
Yeah, I can think of, even though I haven't been in a decision-making, voting-making role for 6 years. Prior to that, I can remember people coming in who were good friends of mine, who applied for water and sewer outside the city boundaries. And as a council member, we had to adhere to what we had decided to do as a council, and that is no outside connections outside of Ephraim City. And so what I did is, even though we voted and that person left in a little bit of a distress mode, I then went to their home and talked with them, talked them through the reason why we had made the decision, the rationale behind it. I think that I've always felt that people matter, and that talking with people one-on-one is an important thing. And so that is how I have done that on numerous occasions as we've made decisions that maybe people did not agree with or did not like. And so that's how I've dealt with that.
Thank you.
Y'all have water? That runs too if you need it.
Is that another question?
Yeah, 3 minutes. Need water?
You'll know in about 2 or 3 months if you've got water.
It'll be all bottom. So.
All right, Cameron, I've got the next one. And I'm gonna start the timer once we ask the question. So some people think patriotism is national, others believe it starts locally.
Are you speaking the mic so they can hear you?
Some people think patriotism is national, others believe it starts locally. How do you see your role on the council contributing to the broader idea of serving your country?
Well, like I said, I spent 40 years, I think, serving my country, and I don't think it's any different whether it's a local level or a national level. You know, I've never heard of anybody define it that way before, so I think it's just something that I've always done, and so I think that's the reason I'm here, is to try and still contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cameron.
Okay, Travis, if the council made a decision that upset a large portion of the residents, how would you communicate and stand by that decision while keeping trust intact?
When you make decisions as a group, everyone has to stand by that decision no matter what, because you've got to be a body. You've got to be a group that stands together, and whether the residents are angry about it or not, they have their opportunity to come to all of the council members and speak with them about it. We've had some controversial things that have happened in the last few years in Ephraim City. And there's been a lot of things that people have voiced their opinion. I've voiced my opinion against things here in this room. And you've got to be able to make people feel heard and to make sure that they know that they are going to count, like this is their council, this is their city. And if they want something to change, get involved and make sure that you're listening to what's going on in a timely manner, because a lot of people came too late for some of those decisions. And so I think the more that we can help residents find things out quicker, and I know we try everything that we can. I've seen the posts, I've seen the things that the city does. But some people just are ignorant until they're not. And so and I don't think of ignorance as a bad thing. Ignorance just means that you didn't know. And so people have put a bad connotation on that word, but it's not. It's actually a really informative word, because you either know or you don't. And I want people to know. And so if someone comes to me because they don't know, I want them to know. I want them to understand why that decision was made and why we stand by it as a whole.
Thanks.
I got a timer, 3 minutes, is that right?
I think Anthony's doing good. Unless you, I'll look at you, go. Hey, that will help. Thanks.
I mean, thanks for being here. Thanks to all of you for being here. It's exciting to have 4 quality applicants. But many small towns struggle with balancing growth and preserving their character. Where do you draw that line? And can you give an example of how you've approached a similar trade-off?
Well, first off, complicated questions have complicated answers. So there is no way I can dive into that series of questions completely. Growth is definitely a good thing and a bad thing. There are definitely pros to growth. I think everybody in this room more than likely wants another grocery store in town, requires growth. But we don't want, some may want another traffic light in town and others may not. Preserving that character, I think, really depends upon the people. And building that character within the people and helping them become involved in city, become involved in the things that we do as a city. And I think that's that's how we preserve character. Character is not something that is passed around on a piece of paper, passed around in our hearts and in our minds. So as we move forward with that growth, I think that it's important that we encourage our youth, encourage our neighbors and our friends to be involved and be a part, and make sure that we are able to preserve that as we move forward. An example. That's a difficult one. I think the biggest example that I would present right now is I have two children, 9 and 10. I'm trying to instill in them the patriotism, the love of country, the love of community, the love of learning that I think is so important. And I'm hopeful that as I move forward, as my wife and I move forward as a team and help raise our children, that we can imprint that on them so that it's not society trying to bring that around. Rather it's a foundational element of who they are as an individual. So I think that would be my closest answer to that. Thank you.
Thanks. We don't need a timer anymore. We got Ryan.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome. All right. Don Scott, you're up again.
Well,
Hey. Anthony's gonna take care of you.
oh. See, Anthony didn't know it either.
I know. I'm a poor communicator.
Oh, I got that question. I was thinking something else. Okay. Public service can be stressful, not that you would know. Can you share a lighthearted or a humorous moment from your community involvement that says something about how you handle stress?
Several years ago, there was a threat on my life. And the chief of police called me, Aaron Broomhead called me up and said, Mayor, you need to know there's a threat on your life and it's credible. I was right in the middle of trimming trees. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, he said, and furthermore, we need to talk about your personal protection. In terms of going forward with this individual who was threatening me and several other, or city manager and other people. And so I got done with my tree trimming and looked at Delaney and I said, I'm going down to City Hall. And I went down, came down here, sat in the city manager's office, window blinds open. My police chief is there sitting with my city manager. And he looks at me and he said, you know, we're talking about a sniper who is trained. And what are you doing here? And I said, I go where the danger is. And that just lightened the whole thing for everybody. And I, you know, I think sometimes you can use humor in a city council meeting, in dealing with a resident, or sometimes I think you just have to also laugh at yourself and not take yourself too seriously. But I think humor can diffuse maybe a person that is extremely serious and very upset with you. And I've done that on numerous occasions. I've just put my arm around them and said, I know I'm fat and bald, but here I am. And they've laughed and I've laughed. And then we've gotten down to the business of what we needed to do and what we need to talk about. I think communication is vital. As a council member, open communication with your residents, communication with those who may not agree with you, but also communication as a whole with the entire city. I think that's a vital thing for city government, is to be open, transparent, and willing to be vulnerable. And sometimes that has happened to me, and it's not that I felt comfortable. But I knew that I had to do hard things, and I knew that I could do hard things. And so communication and humor, I think, is sometimes really important.
Thank you.
Wanted to see you do that Ixnay thing. You didn't need to-
It's close, but no.
Right.
Hey Cameron, if you made a mistake while serving on the council, how would you address it with the public?
Own up to it,
Yeah,
own up to it.
okay, thank you.
That's the only way to address it.
You're not getting your money's worth, Cameron. You're not getting your money's worth. You only get 15 minutes of fame, you're gonna have to talk.
That's maybe more.
In a small town, informal pressure, phone calls, favors, longstanding relationships can influence decisions. How would you respond if someone you respect asked for special treatment?
You know, it kind of goes back to what John was just talking about. You have to diffuse the situation. I don't think that I would probably not even realize that they wanted favor, because I am one of those sarcastic people that will just roll it off the back and take it in stride, because believe it or not, I like to read code and I like to read policy, and so I'll just, hey, did you know? We've done that with family and friends and other things when they've asked us to do things. And we've said, you do realize that's against this code, or maybe somebody has approached us saying, you're breaking this, and we say, actually, no, the code says this. And so I think when people would try that with me, try and get favoritism, I would probably just roll it off and just say, you could try that, but it's probably not gonna work. So I'm just that type of person that I just don't think I would be the wrong person to approach for that, because it's just not my style to do that. So, thank you.
Thanks. All right, Lauren, you're up.
All right, Mr. Powell. How do you balance the needs of different groups in a small town when their interests conflict?
Balance the needs, interest conflict.
Yep.
I think open communication, I think is key in that. It's being willing to listen to all sides of a situation. And having true leadership, I believe, requires integrity. It requires an ability to live and make decisions based on principle, not on emotion, not on relationships. But it also requires a listening ear. So it's that listening approach, I think, is the first step, so that you can have the best information to apply to the principles that you uphold, and then to be able to move forward with that decision. In your role as a city council member, it's not about getting it, not about being right. It's about getting it right for Ephraim. So listening to both sides, understanding the full weight of all the information, and then making a principled decision and moving forward with that, being able to be willing to sit down, as the candidates have said, with the individuals who might disagree with the decision that you've made. Be willing to take the heat for a minute, to just say, I hear you, I understand you. This is why the decision was made.
Thank you.
Thanks. Turn over to Jack.
Okay. So if there's a situation that is developed where culinary water, for an example, expenses are twice the amount of revenues. How would you approach fixing that?
Are you-
We got that answer very much.
Yeah. Yes, you would. I know that, that's something that is going to be before this council in the not too distant future. I think you take public hearing. I think you inform the public. I don't think it's like a rubber band. You don't go too far out here because it's gonna snap back and hit you. And it's not gonna be positive. And so, I know that the state wants us to, up our prices on our water. They've said that we're not gonna give you any more grant money if you don't. Okay, that's the state. And, but I also know from past experiences that they also have been satisfied with a medium range. Not maybe with what they said you've got to do, but they've been satisfied with what we can come up with and what we feel like our residents can bear. We've got to understand and be very sensitive that our residents are retired, they're on a fixed income, as I am. Our residents are young families, and they're just trying to survive financially. They're trying to provide for their children. We've got other residents that may not be in an economic market that we think is normal in Sanpete County. Although we're the poorest county, the most impoverished county, one of the most impoverished counties in the state of Utah. And so I think we have to be very careful. And the public has to be informed. They've got to be part of the process. We can't make unilateral decisions without public input and getting the feelings of, Bonnie and who's retired, or Anthony, who has a house full of kids, and then others. And so I know we have to kind of hedge our bet because we do want to create conservation. And some communities are taking the tack that if we raise prices, that's going to create conservation, and it will, but we just have to be careful. We have to be mindful of those who maybe are on the margins in our community. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Dennis.
Cameron, if elected, what changes would you like to see implemented in how work gets done in the city offices?
I've never been in the city offices and seen how the work's getting done, so I don't know if I can judge that. The only thing that I would say is I think there needs to be a change in the city offices as to how city staff treats citizens. That's the reason I'm here, down and dirty. I've seen it for years where I don't think the citizens have been treated fairly, and it's an authoritarian regime that just dictates to what the poor peasants are supposed to be doing and behaving, and just go with what they're told. That's my honest opinion. And thank you.
Thank you. All right, Lauren, give it to her.
All right. If the town faced a budget shortfall, what principles would guide your decisions on what to cut and what to protect? And can you give us an example of tough financial decisions that you make in your life relating to this?
Yeah. So if we were on a shortfall, I think, we have to have that balanced budget. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And so you're gonna have to look in the hard places, in the extracurriculars, in the things that are not you know, you've got your fixed and you've got your variables, you're gonna have to start cutting some variables so that you can keep your fixed going. There's certain things that you can and cannot cut. But I hate cutting. I've done it. We had, my husband works for the state, and so there was one point in his career that they finally said, people in leadership are on food stamps. And are you okay with that? Because, you know, the state had to dig in after 2008 and we didn't get a raise for 6 years, but everything else went up. And so I've been there, I've done that. We've had to cut all of those things out, and it's hard. It's really difficult. My kids learned, you know, you get your one pair of shoes per year and you get just that 3 or 4 outfits, and that's all you get until they are worn clear through. And it happens. Sometimes you have to dig in, and sometimes you have to take away some of the programs that are the programs that are those variable programs that can come back later. And sometimes that promise never comes for some things. In the city where I'm from Roosevelt, and it's a very boom and bust economy. And so we had this happen all the time. And, you know, on those good years, we had an amazing time and there were programs for everyone. But on those lean years, it's hard. It's really difficult because you come to rely on those things that the city does for you and they're not there anymore. And so just as someone that grew up in that industry and that capacity, it is hard to cut those variable costs and those extracurricular costs. But sometimes that's usually the first to go, because you think of when people are looking at what can I take out, and we're not turning the power off. We can't, but we can take out some of those variables and some of those extracurricular activities that we can bring back at a later date when we're doing better as a city.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Tara.
All right, Bud. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave in this town if appointed, and how does that reflect your personal values?
I think the number one legacy would be a camaraderie, friendship, a work together attitude. I would hope that anyone that I think knows me now knows that if any one of my neighbors needs anything, I know about it, I'll be the first one there. Because I believe in working together as individuals. We're in this life, this experiment together. And I think that everything that we can do to help each other out and encourage each other to be better, to do better, to try harder, to be just to be better, I think is paramount in all that we do and all that we say. So at my core, that is, I'm a very service-oriented person. I'm a people-oriented person. I love people, love to serve people and work with them. From the standpoint of city council, the legacy that I would hope that I would leave behind is someone who was willing to listen, someone who was willing to look at things from all sides, someone who was willing to admit when the perspective that they originally had was wrong, and be able to change their position and say, no, I was wrong. And also someone who was willing to put myself aside. Again, kind of going back to part of Councilman Steck's question of, it's not about being right. It's about doing what's right for Ephraim, not for me, not for my neighbor, for Ephraim as a whole. And I would hope that that's the type of legacy that I would leave behind, and people would remember me from my service on the city council in that way.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, everybody satisfied with the questions? Very good. No, you're good. Everybody happy? Yep. Anybody have questions, you have problems, issues? You good?
Oh, look at me. This is your. You're the
You're wearing the black and white stripes. Just want to make sure that we're following the line. You and
Now
Candace.
Candace.
Amen. I second. Make sure we're doing it right, so. I guess we dispense with the questions and we'll give you a couple minutes to finalize things and give your final closing comment and. Yeah. 2 minutes.
Thank you. And I want to thank these candidates. What incredible people we have in Ephraim City. I am so grateful for their candidacy. And no matter what happens tonight with these candidates, we're going to be well served and things are going to go just fine. This seat that is vacant has had a tumultuous history the last 28 months. It has been vacant twice. And my purpose in the remaining 20 months of this seat is to lend knowledge, leadership, and communication. I don't seek to come in and fix anything because I don't think anything's broken. But what I seek to do is create an anchor for that seat, a consistency amid change for that seat for the next 20 months. In 2019, I made a statement on a day much like this. And I said that, I was reading over some of the things that I had said then. I said in the next 10 years, 2019, Ephraim, these next 10 years is going to be a decade of decision for Ephraim City. And I believe it. That is coming to pass. We have a hospital that is going to be built. We're going to welcome tens of thousands of people into our city over the next 6 months with the opening of the Ephraim Temple. We have infrastructure and wells that have been drilled and that we're going to use this summer because of the drought. This decade of decision is coming to fruition and it's coming into focus. And I want to help with the decisions. I want to lend my knowledge, my expertise, and I want to be supportive to the council process. Thank you very much. And I would appreciate your vote.
Thanks, John.
I want to thank the council. I want to thank the citizens for this opportunity. If I'm selected or if I'm not selected, I'm perfectly okay with that. We've got some great people that would serve well. I would never be one of those that says I've only got 15 council meetings left. Before I'm through.
Yeah, it's more than that, dang it.
Nobody held a gun to my head. My mother maybe used a little bit of guilt. I've always said that guilt's a beautiful thing, when it's used correctly. I want to thank Shane Davis. Today, over the weekend, I was walking by out on Main Street and I noticed a city sign that was down on the ground. The next day I walked through the cemetery. Shane was out there working in the rain. I stopped and talked to him and asked him if he could get that sign fixed. I just made him aware of it. The next day it was fixed. I don't know whether he did it or I thanked him today when I walked by him again. So I just want to thank Anthony Beal for always supporting me and allowing me to vent my frustrations with the city. I pledge to promote business growth. That's the number one thing that I want to be able to do, communicate with businesses. That's what this city needs is businesses. They need jobs. They've got housings coming along, but they need jobs that they can afford those. I pledge to listen to the citizens, even though we may not agree. And I pledge to work to find common ground and solutions. I just want to quickly say a thing about a book called Dog Poop Initiative. It's a story about somebody going to the park and identifying, hey, don't go over there, there's dog poop. Don't go over there, there's dog poop. Don't go over there, there's dog poop. Finally, somebody said, I'm gonna go pick up the dog poop. And that's the other thing that I pledged to do. I'm willing to chip in and pick up the dog poop.
Thanks, Cameron.
So you guys have a difficult decision tonight. I think that you guys have good choices in front of you. I really do appreciate the city council. I know that I would be a good voice for those that are in the city. And I know that I can listen to those residents and give them the voice that they want so that they can be heard. I really appreciate living in Ephraim. I love this town. It is my home and I love what's going on in the city. I love being able to come to the city council meetings and learn what's going on so that I'm informed, so that I know where everything is going and the cogs and everything that's working together. I do love that I have the opportunity to be here. This seat has been very, very tumultuous and I really hope that this time it sticks and you get to keep this council member, whoever you choose. I love that my kids have an opportunity to be here and raise their children here. And I want to be a part of helping the healthy growth that we've all talked about for Ephraim City and being able to keep all of our representation around town and make sure that everybody can get a hold of the council members that are on this board and feel comfortable contacting them and letting them know their voice. I really do, like I said, I love the government operations and the things that we can do, knowing what laws and regulations are coming out for us as a city and as a state. So thank you and good luck on your decision.
Thanks, John. Thank you.
I believe I'm prepared to step into this role and contribute right away. Not because I have all the answers, but because I know how to ask the right questions, listen carefully, recognize when I'm wrong, and make thoughtful, informed decisions. I know there will be a learning curve, but I believe I can quickly navigate that learning curve based on the knowledge that I've gained over the years as I've worked in government. I promise to be engaged and accessible. Take the time to talk to employees, to residents, fellow council members, and to understand issues from every side. And if I need to adjust my perspective, I will, because again, it's not about being right. It's about doing what's right for Ephraim. I understand that not every decision I'll make in this role will be popular, but I'm willing to do the work to make the decisions that are responsible and in the best long-term interests of our community, to always strive to get it right for Ephraim. To me, leadership means applying a consistent and predictable principle-based approach to every situation. It's not making decisions based on emotion or based on relationships. It requires integrity, accountability, and empathy, because those are the qualities that build trust. At the end of the day, elected positions come down to stewardship and trust. Our community entrusts us with the duty to provide for the now, plan for the future, and be prepared for the emergency. Those that have come before have done just that. I care deeply about this community, and I'm ready to serve. I hope my answers to your questions have earned both your confidence and your vote. Thank you.
Thanks, Cliff. I just want to say I am grateful for all four of you stepping up, showing up today. It's going to be weird to have one person the winner and three losers, but I hope you don't feel like you're a loser. I mean, if you need a position to serve, I know of a couple of committees that are going to be short. We need to fill those positions. So if you have the hankering to serve when you walk out the door, see one of the people up here and we can hook you up with another position. So I appreciate your willingness to go. Item number 5 on the thing says we are supposed to deliberate and vote My secret ballot. I don't know what we have to deliberate about, but.
Well, if you guys want to say anything. If,
Oh, yeah,
if you want to comment
makes
on, if you want to comment on anything or ask any further questions, and then you can go ahead, everyone can mark their ballot. I will come pick them up, count them and report
Yeah.
them.
Have anything else you'd like to say there, Hannah?
Just another thank you.
Yes. Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate you stepping up and it's tough to pick one. I wish we could easily just let the citizens choose. So, yeah. So,
Yeah, and we're kind of a rookie up here. We got 4 out of 6, whatever percentage that is. That's pretty, all a bunch of rookies up here, so we're just trying to put the fires out as they come. So anyway, all right, well, if you don't have anything else, I guess you'll have to vote and turn it over to Candace. Need some prices, right?
yeah, pretty, I think that's what.
Okay, that'd be better. The DJ, where's JD? JD Fox. Good DJ. Check the handwriting.
Oh,
See who checks which box. We swear him in tonight.
yes, we will be swearing in tonight.
If we get it, if we get it.
Okay,
Don't pessimist.
all right. We have 3 votes for one individual, and that is Bud Powell, and the 4th for John Scott. So it will be Bud Powell.
Congratulations.
As I said, when I was the mayor, I don't know if it's the best thing in the world for you to do. The first thing in your new job is swearing, but it is what it is.
Swear him in so that you can start getting sworn at.
Swear now. Yeah, very much. Yes. All right.
Okay, at this point, you can make a motion. You do not have to. You can make a motion to appoint Bud to the position, or I can go ahead and swear him in.
You want to make a motion? Maybe you.
I will make a motion
Okay.
that we appoint Bud Powell to serve on the Ephraim City Council for the remainder of this term.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? They're all unanimous. So that means you gotta start your campaign for the next one here pretty quick. Be next year.
All right, you want to come stand right here? But Anthony's our, yeah, just right here. Anthony is our official picture taker. Yeah.
Many hands.
Okay, so if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Bud Powell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
All right, well, I guess this is time to adjourn.
Make a motion. We adjourn this city council meeting.
All in favor?
Yes.
Make a motion.
Oh, you did.